every progressive plans that have been put in place.
We can see from the pictures a lot of interaction between members of Parliament and among themselves, I'm sure, talking about these key sectors that will drive the development agenda. I'd like to take you back, Dr. Lijimutu, the issue that was in the theme, that was restoring economic growth and safeguarding livelihoods. He also talked about creating a united, prosperous and equitable Zambia, a Zambia that gives equal opportunity to all. Do you think in the last 1 year this has been actualized?
You see, Chileshe, we cannot say that the country has actualized 100% of it, but we can be very sure that we are able to notice and see steps that are being put in place towards the overall picture of actualizing this particular goal. So when you look at, for example, a more systematic way of debt restructuring programs, that already is attracting attention by the foreign investors, and this should be able to assist in job creation, in ensuring that there's economic and sustainable livelihood at household level. But we are also able to see that there's a lot of physical discipline as far as ministries are concerned. I think the tone has already been set by the president, where he's basically told his members of parliament, his ministers, that we don't have to be extravagant as far as spending is concerned. For example, we don't have to get new cars. We don't have to just live in a luxury of any sort at the expense of development. We have also seen that we've seen investment more in some small steps in investing in manufacturing. The cannery manufacturing industry, for example, in northwestern my place, already the president is looking at how do we invest into what can give us money, and by doing so, job creation, which we are just talking about, the teachers employment recruitment, the health workers recruitment, and the increase in the constituency development fund, which then should target more job creation at local level. So cooperatives will have to be formed. People that have got skills will have to make money, and as a result of this, many of them will have to actually get a living out of it, but also have some sustainable livelihood. One of the things we need to recommend is that, Chileshe, we need to capacity build our communities on how to handle money.
I like that you brought that up, because money handling as well as the skills development have been top on the agenda, and the president said people should not be importing, for instance, desks. People must be able to make desks in their communities done by local people, so that the money stays within these areas. How do we bridge that gap?
Yeah, you see, Chileshe, and that's very good of what you have said. You see, when you hear the president saying, for example, we want to see desks done here, I'm only thinking of a ward in some remote area, and in that ward there's only two carpenters that have only been able to be making 3 desks, 4 desks in a day, and the CDF comes, and with the CDF coming, then they are told you've got to make 1,000 desks, and that's a lot of money. But also that is a lot of pressure in terms, it is so overwhelming on this particular carpenter. He may need to outsource more skills in the same field to help him be able to make all these desks. And so because of that, but also that means that this carpenter will have more money now. So they need to know in which sectors they've got to invest that money that they are making. We don't want to see them invest into luxury things. We want them to, after they've made the money from the desks, they would like to put up a building where they can now operate from very well. And by doing so, you are almost encouraging some manufacturing at a small level, at a local level. So I think there's need that as we take this money to the grassroots, we also assist the people that will be able to access these funds to be able to manage their funds correctly. We don't want to lose lives shortcut because they have handled so much money which they haven't handled in a long time because they've been given a tender at world level. So indeed, these developments are all culminating into the theme for our 8th National Development Plan, and it is only for Zambians to take advantage of it, harness the opportunities, seize the opportunities, and be able to do what they can do for their household level, but for their community as well.
Just looking at the pictures inside the house, and you can see that people have dressed for the occasion and they have a lot of responsibility in as far as representing their members here in Parliament. And the President did say, Dr. Lijimu, that it will not be business as usual. The attitude of being laissez-faire and doing things in a lazy way will not be tolerated. He did also say that the adoption of hard work, perseverance and discipline will be the core of what will culminate into the development agenda of the country. Just how important are these tenets when it comes to the development agenda?
Yeah, these tenets are very, very important, Chileshe. When you look at the emphasis from the president, is that we must work and work and work hard. And I think in itself, working hard is being able to achieve a lot of deliverables. And these tenets are very helpful for each developing country. And
dancing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who learn. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry, dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, green and we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Order, order. Honorable members, I have received communication to the effect that the Patriotic Front Party has appointed Mr. Anthony Kasandwe, Member of Parliament for Bangweulu, as party deputy whip, to replace Mr. Joe Malaji, whose seat was nullified. I thank you. Order, order. Can we have some order? May Her Honor the Vice President indicate when His Excellency, the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, arrives to address the House.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will arrive at 10:25. Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members, can we have some order? Because we can't hear what the Vice President, what Her Honor the Vice President is saying.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will arrive at 10:25 hours to, Madam Speaker, to address the House. Thank you, Madam.
Order, honorable members, order. Order. I suspend business until the President arrives.
The House has been called to order by Her Honor the Vice President, Mrs. W.K. Mutalena Lumango, and this will soon and indicates that the President will soon be arriving here to address parliamentarians and the nation. I know, Dr. Lijimu, we were speaking about issues of how best the parliamentarians can help their people, the people that voted them into power, and speaking with one voice for development. It can be achieved when we look at unity of purpose and issues of hard work and development.
I think before we allowed the Vice President to be able to take his seat, her seat, we were discussing how these members of Parliament should be able to very well represent their people, and in this case we were considering issues to do with how they must work hard. They should be able to have the people in mind. Wow. And they should be able to go back to their constituencies. And I'm hoping that you see during the break that they had, they went back to their constituencies and were able to actually explain a lot of issues based on what had been agreed to their citizens, but also to explain especially the issues with conditionalities on the CDF. A lot of citizens had problems in terms of youths were saying they are signing too many papers, too many documents. But I think it's not an issue of documents. It's an issue of helping the youths be able to know how to sign those documents, because we need those documents. We need that assurance.
And we can see, Dr. Lijimu, that the president is making his way here to Parliament, and a lot must be on his mind, because it has been a year that has been filled with a lot of activity. And as the president comes here, you take a look back at the 1 year, and he continues to say he is here in order to serve the Zambian people, and that is his top priority. As the motorcade comes into Parliament, the Zambian people are represented by the parliamentarians. Let's look at the issue that has been so thorny, and that is the issue to do with corruption. And he did say in his first speech that I want to see this vicious cycle end. We have seen a lot of progress, but there's still more that can be done. And the fight against corruption is not the presidential fight, but it is a fight for every well-meaning Zambian.
Yes, the fight against corruption is a very is actually one of the yardsticks and benchmarks for which the UPND and President Hichilema himself was voted into Parliament. And I can see them coming. So the issue of corruption, the president, if you've seen Chileshe, the president has taken a different strategy and angle of how he wants to fight corruption. He wants institutions to be independent, and by that he's been able to put in place different managements and new people to be able to handle that, in terms of SEC, the Drug Enforcement Commission, the FIC, and things like that, all those institutions. But at the same time, Chileshe, we have seen a new twist. The fight against corruption previously has been with the aim of, having the people that were involved in corruption behind bars. But the president is saying, can we salvage out of what was corruptly, got? And so the aim now is, can we get the money that was stolen back to the Zambians so that we plow it back into the economy, whilst the institutions that are vested with prosecution continue to do their work. And so the amnesty has been introduced, where people should willfully come and say, this book or this pen, I got it from the office, I'm returning it back, so that it benefits the Zambian people, opposed to, putting the person in jail and the pen is also not recovered. So the president, we hope that the president comes and ensures that he re-emphasizes the fight against corruption, but sets a tone to make sure that, especially that we are even receiving money from IMF, that this money must not be mismanaged. Yeah. It must be channeled to the right sectors, to the right projects, and it should be able to benefit everyone in Zambia. And I think that's what I'm expecting the president to really emphasize on.
The motorcade is coming into the Parliament grounds, and we will be expecting the president to give his address today during the ceremonial opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly. I am joined by Dr. John Lijimu, who is governance and development expert, and he will be giving us analysis when it comes to the speech, and we will have other stakeholders weigh in. This is a beautiful ceremony because it is characterized by pomp and splendor, and the most important thing is the vision that the president does carry as he comes into the Parliament grounds for these parliamentarians to actually take the information to the grassroots, to their people, and make sure that everything is implemented according to plan. All this is done with a vision to see that the members of communities across the country actually get the value for the vote that they cast for these parliamentarians. And as the president comes here, it is important to note that the Vision 2030 is slowly approaching. It may seem far, but the years are coming fast, and that these policies that will be made, the pronouncements that are made in these speeches should not be taken as child's play, but must be implemented according to the plans that have been laid out. Now, Mr. Lijimu, when we look at the Vision 2030, and as the president drives in, it is one of the key attainments for this government.
Yes, the Vision 2030, for those that may want to get refreshed, is that we want to see a Zambia that is a middle prosperous income nation, basically in summary. And this is what every one of us as Zambians have envisioned to want to see, a prosperous nation, a middle-income prosperous nation. And this cannot be emphasized in any other way but by the police pronouncements. But the police pronouncements that are actually made by the president, especially in this house. And basically what the president has always been emphasizing is that friends, he's been calling on members of parliament and people that are working, the permanent secretaries, everyone in the civil service, to say, friends, I've got an agenda to undertake. Can you come on board and support me? Let us work together and work hard to be able to actualize the Vision 2030. All of us want to see a middle income and prosperous Zambia. By the year has come, he's also building on it.
Parliament grounds, where he will be greeted by the service chiefs who are already here, and they will be ushering him into what will be the main program for today. It is important to note that this is the second session of the 13th National, and as he arrives here at the Parliament grounds, it is important to see how these things and pronouncements that he has spoken about will be actualized, and how the different sectors will all actually fall into the different developments that have taken place in the country. In our picture, we can see that the president has arrived, and he is accompanied by the First Lady, Madam Tinta Hichilema. As he greets the service chiefs, it is important also to note that this is a representation of the Zambia that he wants to see.
present and ready for your inspection, Mr. President. So,
Hello? Hello?
Mr. President, permission for the parade to march past and fly past. Mr. President, sir. Thank you, sir.
ceremonial opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly, and it goes without saying that this is one of the most colorful activities on the calendar of Parliament, and we have seen the arrival of the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who was received by Honorable Madam Speaker, Ms. Nelly Muti, and she has welcomed him to the Parliament grounds. One of the most colorful things also is the different cultural groups that are represented here. And when we talk about thinking Zambia first, thinking of local tourism, that is one of the most important aspects of this official opening. The President is making his way to the Speaker's chamber, where he will be expected to sign the Speaker's Parliamentary Visitors Book. Dr. Lijimu, when we speak about issues of tourism, and as the President makes his way here to the Parliament chambers and to the Speaker's Parliamentary chamber in particular, you can't help but marvel at the receiving that he was given and how people have actually received him into the parliamentary grounds. And when we talk about the welcome and tourism, what do you expect for this sector, especially as he addresses Parliament today?
Yeah, first of all, that welcome was very good. It represented, it gave a complexion of Zambia from every sector, from every tribe, from every province, and that is why he was welcomed in all languages, especially the major languages that you do at ZNBC. And that just also sends a signal that, look, he is the president for all Zambians. But also with regard to the tourism sector, this resonates more that this is our complexion as Zambians, that in the tourism sector we are welcoming people, and tourists are very actually welcome to Zambia and bring investment in here. But Chileshe, suffice to say that the President has been able to emphasize that the tourism sector, given the many tourist attractions and tourist sites that Zambia has the potential to be able to bring revenue to the gross domestic product for this country. We are able to raise a lot of revenue as a result of tourism, and I want to see a situation where, as a result of increased the Constituent Development Fund, we keep going to it. Can we have a lot of Zambians invest in the tourism sector? You know, we want to see tourists that will go to a particular place and not be stranded with where they have to sleep. You know, how do we make sure that our tourist sites are made with a high-class attraction, so that the tourists can even be able to pay a little bit more to it? But we should also talk about local tourists as well. A lot of Zambians, when we talk about tourism, they are always only thinking about a white man coming from the UK coming to visit the Victoria Falls. Why don't we as Zambians be able to visit these sites and be able to support our very own touristy sites, to be able to see these animals, these touristy sites and attractions? So yes, tourism still remains. Even in the 8th National Development Plan, we are saying that tourism can actually has potential to bring a lot of money to this country and grow, contribute to the economy. Currently, we want to see that the tourism can even contribute up to above 10% to the national budget, to the GDP. That way, you know, we can. So this is a showcase of what we are able to do as Zambians in terms of the tourism sector.
Let's go into stakeholders, and I know that you come from the civil society background. When we look at the 8th National Development Plan, we see that there was a lot of involvement of the civil society. CSPR has been on record just saying that they were part of the authoring that important document and giving contributions to that document. How important is civil society in the development agenda? Because sometimes overlooked, but we do know that they are represented across the country.
Yeah, Chile. I was very happy to see actually the executive director for civil society for poverty reduction being able to even give a keynote speech at the time that the president was actually launching the 8th National Development Plan. At the time that I was board chair at CSPR, basically CSPR took the center stage, and the National Development Plan was basically our baby. And I'm happy that CSPR still contributed 3/4, 75% of what has been adopted by the 8th National Development Plan. So the civil society organizations are the ones that are mostly on the ground with the citizens. Civil society were the people that are always grappling with issues to do with what people are going through. And because of that, Chile, you find that our input is very unbiased. Our input are pro-poor. You know, they have a complexion of targeting the most vulnerable, the most poor people in our communities. And the National Development Plan becomes only a very good strategy if its focus is more on the livelihoods of the most vulnerable and the poor people. So civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, we do a lot of research, we do a lot of position papers, and we work alongside with government to actualize some of these things. We for a long time, especially at CSPR, have been working with Ministry of Finance and National Planning, and we've been able to we have actually been able to present a lot of position papers on how we can actually plan for the development of the country. And I'm happy that many of our position papers have been able to be carried on by successive governments actually, and that helps. Currently we do have what we call a barometer. So Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, for example, working with GCTR and other civil society organizations, we do what we call a barometer, budget tracking and monitoring evaluation barometer, which helps to track the social sectors and how the budget is being implemented. What are our achievables? What are our deliverables? What are our milestones? What are we achieving as a result of the plans that we put, or the budget that we put in place? So civil society is key, and government needs to realize that civil society is their key partner, and what we present is very helpful for their implementation of programs.
Let's look at what characterizes the chambers today, and we have seen chief executive officers who are here to listen to this presidential speech. One of the issues that has been top on the agenda as well is good corporate governance. So you have the boards that are representing these different institutions, their chief executive officers and directors, who have a mandate to look at issues of the people. And I can cite some of the institutions that have to do with pensions, for instance, and we did see a huge chunk of money go to pensioners. There is a lot of emphasis on corporate governance, and people will want to find out how it relates to development and what will be contained when we look at this issue in the speech.
Corporate governance, Chile, is a topic that is very close to my heart. Corporate governance here is what in a layman's language, corporate governance is basically an insurance or a safeguard. Chile, let's give this example. You have your 10,000 kwacha that you want to invest. You need to send it to Africa, and you are in the UK, and you don't know how it will be utilized. But then you need somebody on the ground that you can trust, that has the integrity and what it takes to ensure that your $10,000 is actually implemented according to your plans. That's what corporate governance actually does. So when you do have boards, for example, through the boards of different entities, through boards of these quasi-government quasi-organizations and the entities that the president was meeting just a while ago, they are saying, because when you've got a board that is ensuring that they are respecting the tenets of corporate governance, such as integrity, such as accountability, such as resolving issues of conflict conflict of interest, and all those values that make sure that the implementation of any program is done the correct way and with the most prudent manner, then you are rest assured that your funds are going to be, utilized correctly. So corporate governance becomes very key. As a matter of fact, even the government themselves, like the President Hakainde Hichilema's government, are saying, can we ensure that there's good corporate governance, good tenets of integrity, good tenets of accountability, good tenets of utilization of resources, timely management of these resources. That helps in ensuring that there's no wastage. That helps in ensuring that you are achieving your goals. That helps in ensuring that you are actually attaining to your key performance indicators that you've set out for yourselves. So that corporate governance then helps a lot in ensuring that the correct things are done the correct way. So that is why the president is emphasizing this, and that is why we see a lot of the chief executive officers coming here. One of the things is because when the president addresses this chamber, he pronounces key policy statements that affect how each of the boards of these corporate entities have got to work. For example, certain policies may be done with regard to tax compliances. So ZRA will have to align themselves with what the president and these particular members of parliament are putting in place in terms of laws that affect such kind of compliance issues. National pensions, for example, what are some of the things? The president might just say, we need this particular direction in terms of our pension system. So these are helpers to their government to achieving the strategies. So they need to be around to show commitment, but also to show support to the president, that they are willing and they are at the disposal of the president to help this country develop.
Let's talk about the opposition leaders, and we did see in picture, and of course right now we are seeing the Minister of Information and Media, Madam Chushi Kasanda, also here, and media playing an integral role even in disseminating this information that we're talking about today. When we look at the issues of the 8th National Development Plan as well as the Constituency Development Fund, it is important for the media to take center stage and give information to people so that they can also feel a part of these development aspects. I'd also like to talk about the opposition leaders that we have seen in picture, and we have seen Madam Chishala Kateka also here in Parliament. Providing checks and balances is one of the key milestones in any democracy by the opposition. How then do they do it, still with respecting the office of the president and also just how things are being conducted in the country?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to start by emphasizing on the need for support towards the media. Chileshe, your department, the media, needs support. For example, for the questions that are being asked by the communities with regard to how the development and the implementation of various policies that are pronounced by the government are being implemented. It is you, the fourth state actor, that should be able to disseminate this information. We want to see an increased allocation towards your department, towards your ministry. We want to see increased allocation towards your ministry to ensure that you can carry out and conduct sensitization programs in communities. But also we want to see the opposition, an objective opposition, and an opposition that does not look at character assassination, but an opposition that says, for the next 5 years, this is the president that is there. How do we help him actualize and achieve his goals, so that if I am the next, I'm going to come and find something that has already been built and be able to build from there.
It's really about passing on the baton.
Exactly. And so if I were an opposition leader, a president of an opposition party, I would be wanting to see this president do more and achieve more, so that when it is my turn, it will not be difficult for me to actually build from what he has left. So I was talking to President Shalakateka when she just arrived, and I was saying it's good that you are here, and it's good that the female aspect, the women are being represented, and it is very objective that you must be able to attend this particular session instead of speaking from the terraces, instead of speaking from a distance, but be here. And if it is possible, we want to see an opposition that should be able to arrange meetings with the president. They sit around the table and say, Mr. President, we are not going to go to the media to blow this, but can we sit on the table and we think that this, you could do it better this way, this way, this way. And the president should be able to open that door to the opposition leaders. I want to see a situation, Madam Chileshe, where the president will be able to say, 4 times in a year, I'll be meeting the opposition presidents to just listen to them. You can imagine what environment that would be. And they should be able to tell him, Bwana, here, and he takes those on board and ensures that he works on them. Can he bring a different complexion to this?
Yeah. A different complexion indeed. We have seen the First Lady, Madam Mutinta Hichilema, take her seat as we await the president, who will be giving his address during the ceremonial opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly. I am joined by Dr. John Lejimu, who is a governance and development expert, as we look at different aspects of this speech and what people are anticipating to be seen in this speech and what the president will be addressing. I know that issues of climate change, Dr. Lejimu, are very important right now. The president has been part of speaking about issues of climate change, even on the international stage. How key is it for this climate adaptation to reach the grassroots? Because it is not enough to just speak about it, but it must reach the grassroots. And we have already seen the effects of climate change, especially in the agriculture sector.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Chileshe. It's true. It's nice to see First Lady Madam Tinta Hichilema there seated, and as usual, looking very nice. She must have a very good, tailor designer. She adds color to the president's complexion whenever he goes wherever he goes. The issues of climate change, Madam Chileshe, cannot be overemphasized. We have seen the effects of the climate change, especially in the agricultural sector, in the energy sector now, in the even in terms of just food security, ensuring food security for the nation. We have seen that the patterns for the seasons, for example, the rainfall patterns have changed, and we have also seen a lot of farmers being affected by that. And so issues of climate change are issues that we want to see how the president puts in place a very multi-sectoral approach. And multi-sectoral, I mean, this is not something that only Ministry of Agriculture should be able to adopt. How do other ministries come on board to ensure that issues of climate change are actually addressed? The whole world is talking about climate change. It's good to see a president that has even put in a ministry that is looking at green economy, and we hope that through the Ministry of Green Economy we can have a lot more strategies that are going to address the effects of climate change. New systems of doing agriculture, new approaches of doing agriculture, new technological systems of doing agriculture is what we want to see this government be able to suggest. And financing those particular systems and approaches is what we want to see, so that we can be able to achieve more as a country.
Gazette Notice number 1218 of 2022, the National Assembly of Zambia. Notice of the second session of the 13th National Assembly. It is hereby given to all members of Parliament and the general public that in the exercise of power conferred upon the Speaker of the National Assembly by Standing Order 17.3 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2021, the Speaker appoints Friday 9th September 2022 as the date for the first sitting of the second session of the 13th National Assembly, dated the 9th day of August 2022. NBK Muti, Speaker.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, we are delighted to address this Honorable House on the commencement of the second session of the 13th National Assembly. Our address this morning comes on the backdrop of our first anniversary as the New Dawn administration. And we truly acknowledge the support given to our leadership by the Zambian people during our successful first year in office. Before we go far, Madam Speaker, at this juncture, we wish to proceed with our address with regret or with request that this House be upstanding and observe a moment of silence in honor of the life, service, memory of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, and we're a member of the Commonwealth, who passed on yesterday, the 8th of September, 2022. Her Majesty was and shall forever be remembered as a symbol of continuity, stability, unity, service, but not just service, but in the UK and beyond, which is the Commonwealth, but also in the entire global community. We also wish, at the same time, to honor and remember the life and service and memory of our fourth Republican President, His Excellency Rupia Bwezan Banda, who passed away on the 11th of March, 2022. His Excellency Rupia Bwezan Banda, served our country in many ways, many respects, and our people with utmost honor, humility, and truly distinction. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Minute of silence. I thank you. Madam Speaker, we would like to commend you and your two deputy speakers for the impartial manner in which you presided over the business of the House during the first session. In the same vein, in same breath, we wish to commend Her Honor the Vice President for the efficient and effective manner in which government business was conducted during the last session of this People's National Assembly. We also acknowledge the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly for facilitating the smooth transaction of business in the House during the last session. I dare say, in equal measure, we thank all the members of Parliament, all the honorable members of Parliament, for your good conduct. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I repeat, in equal measure, we thank all the honorable members of Parliament for their good conduct. Life is about totality as singular as opposed to singular. Madam Speaker, we are thrilled to note that during the first session of the 13th National Assembly, the House passed 25 bills and considered 42 committee reports, as well as 390 questions, a commendable achievement indeed. During the past, Madam Speaker, 1 year, I must say, on the theme of this address, during the past 1 year, the New Dawn administration prioritized the implementation of social economic interventions aimed at stabilizing, repairing, and indeed reviving our economy. Very important. We are in office to improve the welfare and well-being of the Zambian people, primarily, with a clear intent and resolve to achieve what we said we would for this country and its people. It is for this reason, Madam Speaker, that we have prioritized fiscal discipline through enhanced transparency and accountability to protect public resources, as well as serve the Zambian people with a sense of humility, clarity, and indeed diligence. Our focus has been and remains that of transforming our country into an industrialized nation with the participation of citizens and in partnership with the private sector. To systematically unlock various economic opportunities, nothing will be allowed to stand in the way of unlocking opportunities. And we mean nothing. To deliver inclusive development, jobs, and indeed improved livelihoods for all our people, without exception. Madam Speaker, it is important to emphasize the theme, therefore, of our address today. And therefore, if I repeat, I emphasize the theme for our address this morning is working together towards social economic transformation. To do what, Madam Speaker? To stimulate economic growth for improved livelihoods. That's our theme. Through our bold and decisive decision-making, we are relentlessly working towards actualizing the aspirations of our National Vision 2030, particularly of transforming our country into a prosperous middle-income nation and indeed catapult our economy into a higher inclusive social economic growth trajectory. Macroeconomic situation. Madam Speaker, our government inherited undoubtedly a broken economy. Growth, to amplify this, growth had contracted to minus 2.8% in 2020, from an average of 6% just a decade ago. The country had a runaway inflation rate that peaked at high levels, 22%, to give you an idea, in 2021, and we'll mention even a higher figure shortly. The exchange rate had deteriorated to 22 kwacha to a dollar by July of 2021. Numbers don't lie. The financial sector was gripped by exorbitantly high lending rates. We're talking about interest rates and tight liquidity, making it costly for individuals and businesses to access financing. Our national foreign exchange reserves, Madam Speaker, our national foreign exchange reserves had been disseminated to a mere 1.9 months of import cover. This is way below the internationally recommended threshold of 3 months of import cover. Again, international standards. It's there. Fiscal management was excessively deficient and was characterized by poor resource allocation, reckless borrowing, which increased the cost of debt service, resulting, unfortunately, Madam Speaker, in a debt default and yet again a debt crisis in our country. Most unfortunate. Madam Speaker, in one sentence, we had, as a country, failed to manage our economy. Test of the pudding is in the eating. The numbers are here. We failed to manage our economy, and therefore we failed to deliver for our people. Madam Speaker, despite this damaged background, our government has within 1 year managed to stabilize the economy. We have put our economy on a positive growth trajectory in the last 12 months. And we project the economy to bottom up from this negative growth of 2.8% to a positive of 4% in the medium term. This is tremendous. This is tremendous. We have consistently subdued inflation. Madam Speaker, I shall repeat, we have consistently subdued inflation from a high, this is what I wanted to say earlier, a high of 25.6% in August 2021, just before or around the elections, to a single digit of 9.8% as at August 2022, exactly 1 year later, putting us on a course to achieving our targeted inflation rate of 6 to 8% range for the medium term. This is very important if we want growth in the economy. We have stabilized the exchange rate, Madam Speaker, against major convertible currencies, making it as one of the best performing currencies, not in Africa, but in the world. We have built back foreign exchange reserves from 1.9 months to well above the global average, basically 3.7 months of import cover. As at the end of June 2022, this is the figure. This figure is enough to absorb any external shocks and give assurance to investors, to citizens, to continue investing in this, their economy, their country. Madam Speaker, in 1 year of our being in office, we have managed to stabilize the economy and are now focused on resolving one of the biggest disasters of our time, which is the debt crisis. With the support of our domestic, I emphasize, with the support of our domestic and indeed in a global village, international partners, under the G20 Common Framework, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and I want to emphasize, Madam Speaker, our IMF, because we co-own the IMF as Zambia. So, under the support of our domestic partners, citizens, international partners, International Monetary Fund has approved, this fund, our fund has approved support towards Zambia's homegrown economic reconstruction program, which puts us on the course to restructuring the debt as we promised during our opposition days. This will free up, Madam Speaker, the much needed resources to support our local economic development agenda as espoused in the 8th National Development Plan, and indeed attract more investment, domestic, regional, and foreign investment as a package. Madam Speaker, being in the Champions League is not enough. We must now remodel ourselves into being a responsible participant in the League of Nations by meeting our debt service obligations when they are due, when they fall due, and therefore request the support of all our creditors so that we can achieve our last mile in the restructuring of this disastrous debt. As the English will say, we are now ready to sink our teeth in the beef so that we can have a conclusion to the restructuring of our debt so we can release revenue. Our government is committed to ensuring continued prudent fiscal management by reforming our public financial management systems and indeed laws, as well as enhancing transparency and accountability in the management of public affairs, because that's what led us to a crisis in the debt. We are working on it, and seriously so, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in order to entrench our homegrown reform program and set our country's strategic direction, we officially launched the 8th National Development Plan 2022-2026 under the theme Social Economic Transformation for Improved Livelihoods. Madam Speaker, I do hear people say the UPND New Dawn has no plan. There is the plan. Madam Speaker, the focus of our 8th National Development Plan is to restore macroeconomic stability by raising real GDP, not in nominal numbers, but real GDP growth, as well as attaining debt and fiscal sustainability to improve the livelihoods of the Zambian people. And that's the sole reason we're in public office, especially the most vulnerable of our population. As you will see later, we've put specific intervention measures to support the most vulnerable. Anchored on the 8th National Development Plan, Madam Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning, will, at the end of this month, very shortly, present to this August House the 2023 National Budget, which shall outline the specific macroeconomic objectives that government seeks to achieve, as well as the key developmental interventions to be implemented in 2023. Very specific. We urge you, the honorable members of Parliament, in totality, not singularly, yes, individually, but you in totality, irrespective of the political party you represent, because that's a choice of the voters, we urge you to support the budget as it's presented to this House. Madam Speaker, may we now highlight the policy measures to be implemented in the coming year at a broader level under the 4th strategic development areas of the 8th National Development Plan, and namely, 1, economic transformation and job creation. 2, human and social development. 3, environmental sustainability. And number 4, governance, good governance environment. We shall proceed with each one of these articulated briefly, Madam Speaker. Let's start with economic transformation and job creation. Madam Speaker, in order to transform our economy and create jobs and wealth for our people, we shall continue to pursue efforts aimed at increasing both local and foreign investments. Production as different from productivity, value addition and trade, as well as ensuring that our citizens participate and benefit fully from the economic activities of their government and their country. In this regard, our administration has prioritized agriculture, mining, manufacturing, which is you could call value addition, and tourism as the key drivers to achieving economic transformation. While it is important, therefore, to support these sectors, to consider the importance, the strategic importance of energy, transport, information, and communication technology, as well as research and development, which has suffered in previous years. So we shall return to this subject, which is very important. These are key enablers to the transformation agenda. They are integral to the transformation agenda, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the agriculture sector continues to be the major source of livelihood for our people, providing food and employment opportunities, raw materials to feed our industries, as well as bringing in the much needed foreign exchange into our country. The sector, however, Madam Speaker, continues to grapple with a number of challenges, notably climate change. Those issues that are related with climate change, such as droughts and floods. We're seeing this happening across the world. Outbreak of animal diseases, insufficient utilization of irrigation opportunities. Definitely inadequate extension services, no doubt about it, and the provision lack of which leads in low productivity. Not production, but low productivity, especially among our small-scale farmers. Madam Speaker, to address the foregoing challenges, your government, the New Dawn government, has instituted a number of measures. Amongst these include enhanced surveillance, extension services, promoting agriculture, diversification, agricultural diversification. We don't want this to continue to be a story and words, playing with words, but we want to realize it. Irrigation development, and truly extension services must go back to the farming areas. We are promoting climate-smart agriculture, Madam Speaker. Government has also commenced the formulation of a comprehensive agricultural support program, ASP, which will transform the sector, move it away from fertilizer, from seed, to equate to agriculture. Agriculture is bigger than that. So therefore, we believe will improve the sector in a broader way. Production will go up, should go up, productivity should go up, and substantially improve the livelihoods of our people. Madam Speaker, during our address to this August House in September 2021, we promised that our administration will work with the private sector in exploiting opportunities available in the regional, first domestic and regional international markets as well, with market access agreements with China and South Africa for the export of blueberries having already been signed in a number of cases. Madam Speaker, we are walking the talk. We are walking the talk. Further, we have met the phytosanitary requirements for the export of plant and plant products such as avocado, passion fruit, pears, and fresh cut flowers, which had slowed down to the European Union market. We have also met the requirements for exporting avocado to a lucrative market in the Middle East. To be specific, United Arab Emirates, macadamia nuts and pears to South Africa, as well as meeting requirements for the export of stevia and soybean meal to China, black carrots to Germany, and timber to China and Vietnam, although we prefer to export timber products rather than raw timber. We are working on that. We urge our farmers to take advantage of these available opportunities by producing more horticultural produce to ensure reliable and sustainable supply, while government works to expand market channels for our local produce. Madam Speaker, to turn around the mining sector, our administration, your administration, is creating a conducive environment for increasing investment and participation, very important, participation of our people in this sector, which they've been marginalized or left out for too long, while positioning the country to take advantage of emerging opportunities in the mining value chain at local, regional, and indeed global level. The conducive and predictable policy environment unlocked the landmark investment of $1.3 billion for the Enterprise Nico project in Kalumbila, Northwestern Province. An expansion, in addition, an expansion of the mine in Kansanshi, lengthening its life to another 20 years, because it was almost coming to an end, and this investment will extend the life of that mine and jobs for another 20 years. Very important. This is a clear testament of our efforts to improve the mining sector, create jobs, and indeed wealth for our people and the communities that live around the resource endowments. The country, Madam Speaker, will see more specific interventions to ensure that value trickles to the local communities. There are specific interventions that we're working on, Madam Speaker. The Nico project and the extension of the mine life at Kansanshi, Madam Speaker, as I said, for the next 20 years, will not only contribute to economic growth, but also provide and secure the much-needed jobs for our people, for those that may only earn income through jobs, but also for those that are willing to work for themselves as small, medium, and larger businesses. Madam Speaker, our government, the people's government, your government, has signed a cooperation agreement, very important, with the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo to develop the electric motor vehicle battery value chain and other accessories. We are on the move, Madam Speaker. We are on the move. We follow the stories, the comments people make when we travel to do such things. We are undeterred. We are on the move. We envisage that this initiative will hugely contribute to the attainment of our development goals, including the creation of more jobs for our citizens. Madam Speaker, I dare say this facility will be located on the Copper Belt. It's some arguments going on between Ndola and Chingola, but it will settle somewhere, Chingola or Chingola. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can see you are happy, you are interested. That's what we want to see. Through Madam Speaker, Copper Belt is our home. Copper Belt is our region. Feve Nakasensa. We who are citizens of this country. Through formalization, I've said it in English, Madam Speaker. Through formalization, capacity building, as well as provision of extension and technical services, our administration has prioritized the reorganization, please hear me out, of artisanal and small-scale mining in our endeavor to increase the participation of our ordinary citizens in the mining sector. We are also, this is real, watch the space, this is real. We are also addressing all irregularities in this subsector in order to end what we have lived with for years called illegal mining. We want to legalize it, right? And ensure that the country benefits from such God's given rich mineral endowment. We've been watching. Zambians have been observers. Going forward, Zambians will be key participants. That's why we shut down the cadastre for a while to begin to address these issues. This is the methodical approach we talk about. Indeed, indeed. Other than this, we are also moving to establishing market hubs. Market hubs for what? For manganese. We promised our people in Luapula, when we were in opposition, that we attend to them benefiting from manganese, not just moving rock and get very little. But no, we have a plan for them as well. Those are our people. That's our home. That's our country. So for manganese, to provide easy market for these small artisanal miners, an off-take agreement possibilities so they can earn more money, mine safely so they don't die every day, but generate more value. That's why we were elected into public office. So we don't want to continue moving manganese from Mansa over the Tuta Bridge into Serenge. We want to process also in that area, but we need energy, Minister Kapala. We need energy. Kalungish, yes. Namulanda wa Kalamba, Kalungish. Yes. Madam Speaker, I'm saying my brother has spoken well. Thank you. Madam Speaker, government remains committed to addressing the challenges affecting the operations at Konkola and Mopani copper mines. Very alive to that. Very alive to that. And measures are being taken, difficult as it is, given the mess that was created, to basically bring back these assets into useful life and contribute to the economic reconstruction agenda, including our 3 million tons production target over a decade, over 10 years. Not 3 years, I've heard some people say 3 years, it's over a decade. In an effort to provide a favorable environment for increased investment, hear me out, in the mining sector, even for our small miners, artisanal miners, and the downstream activities, government shall review, I send a message, government shall review the mineral resource development policy, continuing to review that to better it while positioning the sector to contribute towards our country's economic transformation agenda. Madam Speaker, our government has recently launched the Public-Private Dialogue Forum for Development, PPDF, in a vigorous bid to strengthen partnerships with the private sector and scale up efforts to create an enabling environment for industrialization, trade, jobs, and wealth creation for our people, but in a legal way, not in an illegal manner. The forum is a strategic platform for constructive engagement between the government and indeed the private sector to address critical sector-specific constraints to private sector development. And we urge cross-cutting collaboration, working together in translating this journey into real results for our citizens. We call upon the private sector colleagues, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, we call upon you to take advantage of this new Dawn administration's open door policy and actively participate in the full utilization of this, the PPDF platform. Madam Speaker, in full recognition that small and medium business enterprises are key contributors to job and wealth creation, government allocated resources to the Zambia Credit Guarantee Scheme. This has resulted into over 120 small and medium enterprises being supported with guarantees to enable them to access financing from commercial banks, as well as supporting beneficiaries with business development services as they continue to work and endeavor to grow their small businesses, large businesses of the future. That's the way it starts. In addition, we've also allocated more resources to the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission for enterprise development with 365 million kwacha worth of empowerment products targeted at citizens, micro, small, medium-scale enterprises, as well as cooperatives, I dare say, while the Commission has also set aside 83.9 million kwacha to operationalize industrial yards across the country, some of which were abandoned and were growing into a bush. We are tending to that because those are national assets. National money was used to build them, not private money. That's the difference we bring to the table. Further, under the Constituents Development Fund, allocations have also been made to empower micro, small, and medium enterprises and cooperatives. Madam Speaker, government, with the support of the World Bank, our World Bank, we are members of the World Bank. We are shareholders of the World Bank. So our World Bank, not a foreign entity, our foreign bank, our World Bank, not a foreign bank, is, yes, I'm saying our World Bank, not a foreign bank. Chizungu icho. That is English. Madam Speaker, that is English. Is implementing the Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project with a project assisting small and medium enterprises to grow through multifaceted interventions. A good example, just one, is the Forest Africa Zambia Limited. Where is it? In Chilanga, an enterprise that is processing mabuyo and ngai, wild fruits, I don't have the English name for them, into beverages of up to 12,000 for our people who are harvesting, gathering these fruits, wild fruits, because before they had no market. Now there's a market, specific intervention by your government which supports those who gather these wild fruits through a processor deliberately identified so we can create value in the chain. Very important. This is the way it should be done. And we want to grow such initiatives beyond Chilanga to all the 10 provinces of the country. Can we do it? Yes, and yes, and yes. We can do it working together. Following the successful implementation of the project, Madam Speaker, government is looking to not just spread, but to scale up to ensure we can bring significance to this aspect of something that was not happening before, especially covering the youth and the women, gender equality, youth inclusion, self-employment, but facilitated by a government that understands the jigsaw puzzle, your government. Madam Speaker, to facilitate trade, including smooth clearance of goods, government has continued to improve and modernize border infrastructure and transform them into one-stop border posts, starting with Sakania, Ndola, Abena Kopala, Kalebwangu, meaning we, the Copper Belt people, we must do things quickly, no time to waste. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Sakania, Kamimba border, Lumwana and Kolwezi. Very important. Strategic location there. And indeed, Kipushi border. Yes, Kipushi border. And Chalwe with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Mwami with Malawi, Mwami border with Malawi. Chanida border with Mozambique. Critical. And Nakonde with Tanzania. All of these are earmarked for urgent modernization. And Madam Speaker, the Minister of Finance and I were having a conversation that there are also other smaller border posts which require minimal investments but will formalize trade and bring value to our country in many ways. Minister will be looking at those areas, just a small dosage of investment, money recovered from wastage, we bring it into useful application. Madam Speaker, being another priority sector in our economic transformation and job creation agenda, tourism has this year recorded, please hear me out, has recorded a favorable performance in comparison to last year. Just in 1 year. Just in 1 year. We've recorded a favorable performance in comparison to last year, with the number of international tourist arrivals increasing substantially from around 240,000 in the first half of 2021 to more than doubling, 496,500. In the corresponding period this year, it is not just COVID. It's this government's agenda to make Zambia the center of conferences. It's a strategic decision. It is a strategic decision, Madam Speaker. This, as I said, is more than double the numbers. Life is not poker. Life is not in solo. Life is strategic management of the economy. This increase, Madam Speaker, has attributed to a number of factors. As I said already, the clear decision this government made from day one that we were receiving or hosting fewer and fewer conferences. And that's why you see more conferences now coming here. And this is only the beginning. And you can already see the benefits of that. This is it. This is it. This is just the beginning. Because we want tourism to take its place in the development agenda of our economy. It is also key that we relax certain measures, and we will ask Parliament, Madam Speaker, when the Minister of Finance presents a budget, to support those measures, and these include reducing the visa fee. Reducing the visa fee. And I dare say, waiving the visa itself in a number of countries. That's how it works. And the revenue, Madam Speaker, that would arise from such increase in tourist numbers outweighs the little revenue from the visa fees. There's no question about it. That's the way it works, and we shall drive in that direction. It is also important that in doing or putting in these measures in place, this House, all of it, shall be consulted. The private sector shall be consulted. The church, NGOs shall be consulted, so we can work together. The two cannot work together unless they agree. So we intend to secure agreement as we run to implement a turnaround of our economy for social value delivery to all our people. Madam Speaker, we come with more good news. We come with more good news. To reduce the cost associated with the establishment and the operation of tourism enterprises in our country, government shall introduce a single licensing system for the tourism sector. So we can kill out the bureaucracy, time wastage, and multiplicity. This will add to more value. Watch the space, you will see it next year. Government shall also upgrade tourism sites to improve the product offering as well, and infrastructure leading to sites such as, you would like to know, Cassava Bay. In the Nsumbu National Park, I know the Minister of Finance led a team there. After that team, measures were recommended, we're working on them, we're implementing them very quickly. Nsumbu National Park is very important to our tourism product in our country, the total offering, which will also help the Northern Circuit, but without ignoring the generic historical tourism destinations of Livingstone and others. No question about it. That's how you do business. You don't ignore one sector and focus on another. You invest in the old traditional sector, invest more in new sectors, then you have an upgrade, not a downgrade. And obviously, the Liuwa National Park in the Western region. Madam Speaker, to improve access to rural communities, government, as at June 2022, had rehabilitated and maintained over 1,000 kilometers of rural roads in the central, northern, Luapula, eastern provinces. Works will commence where? In Muchinga. Mule Kutika? In Muchinga. Madam Speaker, I am saying, I hope you are listening. I am saying I hope this House is listening, and I know it's listening. In Luapula, roads in central, northern, Luapula, eastern provinces, I said, will commence work in Muchinga, southern, western, northwestern, Copper Belt provinces, while we target the remaining rehabilitation of an additional 4,000 plus kilometers of the roads in 2025. We had to schedule this work knowing that the resource envelope had shrunk, as we saw or demonstrated with a decline in the growth of the economy. There shouldn't be an argument in this matter. It's straightforward. The envelope shrunk, it was eaten away. We're rebuilding it, then we can do more roads. Madam Speaker, to improve the operational efficiency of the rail subsector, government is in the process of improving the operations of the Tanzania-Zambia railway system, as well as improving the Zambia railways infrastructure. We cannot allow the railway system to go down because it just increases the cost of maintaining our roads. So we understand. Yes, the money was stolen before we came in. I agree with you. I agree with you. Madam Speaker, lifted by travel demand following the decline of global COVID-19 infections, the aviation subsector is now showing signs of recovery, with the general passenger movement recorded at just under 680,000 in the first 6 months of 2022, compared to, again, make a parallel to just under 290,000 in the same quarter in the previous year. Please mark these numbers. They are sending a message, yeah, over the same period. And that's how you do comparisons. You benchmark correctly. Again, Madam Speaker, the numbers don't lie. They tell the story. That's why you are seeing an upswing in the economy. The numbers were projected. But it's all deliberate. It's not by luck or chance. That's what is important. While the introduction of Zambia Airways should improve domestic and regional connectivity, Madam Speaker, your government is clear that this sector must be watched carefully. No excitements must ride what we do. We must be realistic because we understand the challenges of running an airline, even for big airlines, even for big countries. We know what is going on in this sector. So we therefore want to ensure that we are very measured in what we do in this sector so we don't perpetuate wastage of public resources. Madam Speaker, electricity and petroleum products continue to be critical to enable us for the industrial, yes, Madam Speaker, industrial growth and transformation of our country's economy, and as such, it is a key policy objective of this your new dawn administration that your government will ensure, one, or first, stability, second, availability, and indeed affordability of supply for our people and businesses alike. We're spending long nights with the key colleagues in this sector working, realigning things so that this sector can take its central role in enabling economic development in our country. We have increased electricity generation. Madam Speaker, you'll be very delighted. We've increased electricity generation to 10.8 million megawatts. I shall continue. To 10.8 million megawatt hours. Hear it properly. We'll come to that. During the first half of this year, just wait a moment, you hear how this happened. From 9.9 million mega hours in the corresponding period in 2021, with the increase largely attributed to, yes? Wait. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I beg to move. Madam Speaker, to the improved water levels, one, and most importantly, to recommencement of the work that was suspended in 2019. Madam Speaker, facts are what should guide us. The Kafue Gorge Lower project got suspended before the elections in 2021. And when we came back, our priority was to quickly look at how to restart that project. And we found the money. The reason for which the works were suspended, because the money was gobbled in other things. By being prudent, we were able, Madam Speaker, to renegotiate the extravagant tariffs at Itezhteji Power Station, at Mamba, at Ndola facility. Surprise, surprise, we were able to raise money to do Madam Speaker, let me conclude on this part. We were able to check where we could intervene quickly and realize where mistakes were made, corrected them outside the straight line innovatively, and were able to complete generator number 2. When the works were suspended, there was only one generator which was done. Generator number 2, number 3, number 4, and we'll be concluding generator number 5 in a few months. Madam Speaker, this is the prudence we used to talk about when we were in opposition. That is what we're doing, and nothing less, but more of these things will show their positive signs soon. Sometimes it takes a bit of time. Sometimes the work needed to be done. We're doing the work. Madam Speaker, as a result, we have increased generation to supply local needs, to support, I dare say, exports, to support exports to countries within the region, while we're aiming to commission, as I said, the remaining unity at Kafue Gorge Lower, and it will be done ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. And that's important. Furthermore, to facilitate the export of electricity to the East African region through the East Africa Power Pool, government will complete very rapidly, working very hard, the remaining circuits for the Zambia-Tanzania-Kenya interconnector to enhance Zambia as well, to enhance the Zambia-DRC interconnector to allow us to evacuate the power to the markets as we planned years back, and realize our commitment to make Zambia truly the electricity hub in this region. We are on the road to doing that. Avena Luapula, Kalungwishi is hotly being worked on, and you'll be very delighted very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry about that. Madam Speaker, it's in the plan. Not to worry about that. There's an organized work going on in this country now. Madam Speaker, government shall ensure that major electricity generation projects such as the Batoka Gorge hydropower station, which has the potential for 2.4, let me put it differently, 2.4 gigawatts. 2.4 gigawatts, which simply means 2,400 megawatts. That's what it means. We want to implement that. I talked of, obviously, in keeping with our commitment to grow and diversify our electricity supply base, we shall ensure that alternative sources of clean energy, such as what? Wind, geothermal, solar, and are fully exploited. Madam Speaker, government is restructuring the petroleum subsector to bring efficiency into the sector, into the petroleum supply chain, including restructuring of Indeni oil refinery, which is no longer economically viable and cannot compete with modern refineries in the form it is. Instead of processing crude oil, it's not even crude oil, it's a co-mingled stuff, the company shall be blending locally produced biodiesel and ethanol with imported finished products, ultimately providing a ready market for locally produced biodiesel and ethanol. This will trigger exponential growth in these sectors in the economy, as well as to contribute to reduction of the cost of importing either the co-mingled stuff or the finished products. That's how it works. It is also envisaged that Indeni shall also manage fuel depots and mark petroleum products to guarantee product integrity and prevent tax fraud. While the Tazama pipeline will be used to transport the finished products from the high seas to absolutely into our country. Work is already underway. You are behind schedule, sir. Work is already underway. Madam Speaker, in order to promote efficiency and stability in the petroleum subsector as well as enable government for government to play its rightful role of a regulator. A fundamental policy shift shall provide for the private sector to drive the bulk procurement system for the petroleum products. Hear our words. Government will retain its regulatory responsibilities, its oversight responsibilities, its security of supply responsibilities. Very conscious of that. Madam Speaker, our government is excited. Your government is excited with the current digital revolution offering limitless opportunities to accelerate social economic development of our country. There is an urgent need for us to invest in the digitization of our economy by rapidly investing, I dare say, in efficient, effective internet connectivity. The quality of internet at the moment is not good. We understand that. We are aware of that. So there's need to invest in that. And the issue of connectivity, broader connectivity across the country, urban or rural, is something that is vexing our minds at the moment, Madam Speaker. And as we stand, the numbers don't look good. I don't even wish to read them out, to repeat them here. But our plan is to have basically exponential growth in this sector. Technology, as you will hear soon, I'm looking at the Minister of Technology there, as you will hear soon, technology allows us to leapfrog in this sector. And you'll be very delighted, Madam Speaker, the nation will be delighted when we are done with our work behind the scenes, we'll be able to tell the country the good news that is coming soon in that sector. In this regard, a digital transformation strategy has been developed further to support this agenda. Additionally, Madam Speaker, information and communication technology skills development is also being promoted through initiatives such as the National Skills Development for Youth Employability and Entrepreneurship across the country. Madam Speaker, Human and Social Development. Madam Speaker, as an administration, we are of the unwavering belief that education is the best ever platform of social economic progress in any decent and organized country. No question about it. And a government should make education available for all its citizens. For this reason, Madam Speaker, and I know some in this country never believed that it was possible to make education available for all kids. For this reason, our government, Madam Speaker, has done away with long-standing encumbrances such as tuition and examination fees, and is providing, not surprising to us but to others, free education in public schools. Free education in public schools from early childhood to secondary school, so that more of our children who were unable to attend school on account of affordability can be given an opportunity to do so the way, Madam Chair, this president was given an opportunity to come out of the village and sit in this position. We cannot argue that issue. It is a foregone conclusion that education is the best investment for any country, any community. Let us just work together. Let's stop arguing. To fill up, Madam Speaker, to fill up the gap in finances created by this fantastic policy of free education, we have increased also, to fill up the gap, we have also increased grants to schools, as well as ensuring timely delivery of these grants to cater for the school's normal operations. Ask any school now, they will tell you they are receiving their grants on time. And not in a few schools, but in all the schools of the 10 provinces of Zambia. Equity is the word. equity and fairness are the words, not as it was before. Madam Speaker, to prop up the quality of education, government has recruited and employed over 30,000 teachers and posted across all the schools in the country. Very delighted, Madam Speaker, when I saw the kids in Kawamba saying things that they were out of teaching jobs 5 years after graduating, and they got jobs without knowing anybody in government. And more importantly, Madam Speaker, one young teacher lady was saying, I got a job without paying something. Madam Speaker, this is the way this government will run the country. This is the way citizens and others must get used to what is happening, because that is the right thing, not what was obtaining before. This will improve the teacher-pupil ratio, no doubt about it, contribute to increasing the quality of education, and this is the way things must work. Madam Speaker, government has continued to pay boarding fees. I repeat, government has continued to pay boarding fees. There's another component: free education, school grants, boarding fees to pupils who go to boarding schools in the government schools. These three are not one and the same, they're different. And of course, so that we can provide education grants for disadvantaged adolescent girls, to encourage the girl child to remain in school longer, as well as, obviously, the boy child, but as well as for continuing to implement, to allow ourselves to continue to implement and keeping girls in school projects, very important, with approximately, I want to state a figure, Madam Speaker, approximately 59,000 girls currently are benefiting from this component of our free education alone in 1 year. Fantastic. Madam Speaker, to create additional learning space, government shall construct, hear me out, government shall construct an additional 120 secondary schools, in addition to the 115 secondary schools whose construction started in previous years but got abandoned because the money ran out as it was diverted to other things. This government, Madam Speaker, this your government understands that no asset should stand idle because it's not complete. We want to put these assets into useful, gainful utilization. Therefore, we'll put money onto them. And it doesn't matter whether they were started by MMD government or PF. It does not matter. This government will complete them. Further, to ensure that no school-going child sits on the floor. This is emotional to this speaker, Madam Speaker, to this individual talking. It's personal. To ensure that no school-going child sits on the floor, we have said by the end of 2023, government has embarked on an ambitious exercise to leverage the Constituency Development Fund. Please, all members of Parliament, other than the 8 nominated, all of you that run constituencies, hear me out, hear us out. We want to work with you and other stakeholders to ensure that by the end, before the end of 2023, no child should be sitting on the floor. No child should be sitting on the floor. Thank you very much. Let's make progress. Let's make progress. The ills are known. You're failing to utilize the first installment. The ills are known. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I invite all the members of Parliament, irrespective of their political party, including independent members of Parliament, let us agree to this agenda, that no child should be sitting on the floor. Madam Speaker, your government will and is already supporting all constituencies equitably. Let us just work together. Let us stop the petting. Let us stop the argument. Letting various youth skills development programs. This year alone, over 12,000 youth have been trained in various skills, such as what? Metal fabrication, plumbing, carpentry, joinery, mining, bricklaying, and in general agriculture. We are grateful, truly grateful, Madam Speaker, to the church, civil society, for the additional support that they are providing in this area. And we work as a team. We work as a team. We have said before, and we repeat it in this House, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, that this New Dawn government is not in competition with the church. This New Dawn government is not in competition with the civil society and NGOs, not in competition with the private sector, but we are partners in development. That should stay with us longer and longer. Madam Speaker, we underscore our commitment to providing affordable quality health services. We've employed 11,000 medical staff to ease health service delivery. Madam Speaker, to take health services close to our people, as close as possible, government has continued with the construction of 36 district hospitals countrywide, which are at various stages of completion, while working on completing the construction of the remaining 16 out of the targeted 115 main hospitals, as well as 83 out of the target 650 health posts. This work will continue. No marginalization. This is our country, all parts of the country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is indeed the good and lovely music that citizens want to hear across the country. Madam Speaker, going forward, government will continue to undertake recruitment in the economic and social sectors to continue improving service delivery to our people. Madam Speaker, to ensure steady supply and availability of essential drugs and medicines, a matter that interests most Zambians, if not all, government has procured a year's supply of essential medicines and medical supplies, while promoting local manufacture of pharmaceutical products. Our challenge is to continue improving the delivery systems so that our citizens access medicines. We acknowledge that challenge. We do acknowledge that challenge, and we're working on it. This is to improve the resilience and efficiency of our pharmaceutical supply chain, but focusing also gradually to replace imports with locally produced drugs in our country. And that support is clearly there, and we know the benefits of that. Jobs, business opportunities. Madam Speaker, the New Dawn administration remains committed to the fight against COVID-19, very committed to protecting our people's lives. We are happy to note that the COVID-19 vaccination campaign that was relaunched on the 8th of October 2021, coupled with interventions, has now, or if you like, encouraged citizens to get vaccinated, with our national COVID-19 vaccination status having dramatically improved from less than 10%, to be specific, only 3% or thereabout at a changeover of government in 2021, to now a national vaccination average of well over 46% in 1 year. This is not enough. We are not satisfied as a government, and efforts shall continue in this direction. We have since attained above 70% immunization in 22 districts. And we would like the remaining districts to move and move quickly. Madam Speaker, our government shall continue to prioritize food and nutrition security through diversification of food production initiatives and ensuring the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goal of ensuring zero hunger in our country. We are pleased to report that the country is food secure. The country is food secure, with over 1.2 million tons of surplus maize in stock already. To guarantee and enhance national food security and nutrition security, government is implementing the Farmer Input Support Program, because some thought it was discontinued. No, we're going ahead, except we want to expand the sector through ASP, supporting, as it were, over 1 million small and medium-scale farmers with fertilizer and seed. This will continue. In addition, government is implementing the Food Security Pact program to take care of the most vulnerable in our communities. This program is benefiting 263,700 recipients in the name of households, with 40,000 households being supported with inputs, fertilizer and seed for something new called wetland farming. Wetland farming. Something is going on there. I invite members of Parliament to watch what is happening there, which is very important to your constituencies and to this country. Wetland farming, because we have water in the rain season, flooding, and we could do rice, but in the dry season, we just put fire to that area. But now we can produce food in the dry season. Market is not an issue. You are behind. Listen to me. Madam Speaker, government remains committed to implementing various interventions aimed at improving access to clean and safe drinking water, adequate sanitation, as well as ensuring national water security. The Kafue Bulk Water Supply Project, Kaputa Water Supply Project, and Sanitation Mufumbwe Water Supply Project since have been completed and commissioned, benefiting over 485,000 people, with the Chinsali Water Supply Project also coming to commissioning very soon. This will benefit an additional thousands of our people. Government is also working towards completing the Kaflafuta Water Supply Project. The works are going on now. They had stopped, but they are going on now. And the Nkana Water Supply and Sanitation Project, as well as the Chipata, Madam Speaker, Chipata Water Supply and Sanitation Project. Very important. Ongoing projects still to be completed are integrated small township water supply and sanitation project in Nakonde, Yatata Yamayo, in Nakonde, and Mpika districts. Madam Speaker, I'm simply saying mothers and fathers. Yatata Yamayo means mothers and fathers. And Mpika districts, transforming rural livelihoods into, as well as in Western Zambia project and Zambia Water and Sanitation Project on the Copper Belt, as well as the Lusaka Emergency Water Supply and Lusaka Sanitation Project, Madam Speaker. Once completed, the projects will provide safe, clean drinking water for well over 1.5 million of our people. Madam Speaker, I am addressing Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, a total of 94 piped water schemes were constructed in the first half, just the first half of this year. 438 additional water boreholes, 871 non-functional, again abandoned boreholes have been rehabilitated countrywide, and a further 279 sanitation facilities were constructed. In order to sustain the continued implementation of water supply and sanitation projects to improve the health and well-being of our people, Madam Speaker, we shall work at ensuring the commercial viability of our utility companies. We are aware that the water utility companies are underperforming. They have been basically not doing exactly as we want them to do as citizens. We are working on that. We are alive to that. Madam Speaker, we need to improve the quality of management and leadership. Leadership is the key in anything. Leadership is the key. I'm sure the country has seen it in the last 1 year. Leadership is the key. Madam Speaker, to reverse the devastating effects of poverty and inequality among our people, especially in the rural areas, government has enhanced the provision of social protection. I had mentioned this area. Social protection programs such as the social cash transfer to ease the burden of the poor and the vulnerable. We understand every society will have such people, and we are responsible for looking after them as well as other sectors of the community. Under the social cash transfer program, our administration has increased the number of beneficiary households across the country, with the number of beneficiary households being supported increasing, Madam Speaker, from 887,759 in 2021 to 913,254 this year. Please understand comparisons, understand the benchmarking. While targeting to reach a whopping 1 million beneficiary households by the end of when? This year. Government has also increased the transfer value for all social cash transfer beneficiaries. It's not just the number of beneficiaries, it's also the value of the support, from 300 to 400 for one category, and a bigger number for persons living with disabilities, from 600 to 800. That's what it is. Our government has worked exceedingly hard to ensure that we are up to date in paying these benefits. Again, no segregation. The segregation of the past is gone. Everybody who is a citizen, the qualification is that you are a citizen. Number 1, 2, you are entitled. Epela, enditamkwai. Epela. Yes. I mean just that. Everybody. No fidgeting, no but, no if. Every citizen eligible are on the program. That's all. Thank you. Madam Speaker, on a separate day, I will encourage citizens to learn Zambian languages, not to stick to one language. When you do that, you are a bit inadequate. Madam Speaker, government is implementing the Cash Plus. Madam Speaker, government is implementing the Cash Plus approach to link social cash transfer beneficiary households to other social protection programs, such as Food Security Pack and the Girls' Education and Women's Empowerment and Livelihood. It's very important to link these together, because there are inefficiencies in there, there are duplications in there, there are overlaps in there. So we intend to clean this up so that more Zambians can come onto the programs. We are also mainstreaming nutrition in these social protection programs to improve nutrition among our poor and vulnerable households. I hate the word poor. I must say, Madam Speaker, I hate the word poor. But I want to say among our disadvantaged households, because poor is really not a good word to use. Madam Speaker, to promote gender equality, gender equity, gender equality, government is implementing various women empowerment programs with 9,614 women so far having received productivity grants for various economic activities under the Supporting Women's Livelihoods Intervention. That's a program. In addition, Under the village banking program, 4,301 women accessed microcredit support and financial literacy, as well as life and business skills to enable them engage in various businesses. Madam Speaker, we are concerned with the increasing number of children living in our streets. And as such, government is taking these kids out of the streets to rehabilitate them and reintegrate them in society. More good news, Madam Speaker, more good news to further enhance the well-being of children in our country. The Children's Code Act number 12 of 2022 has been enacted. This will comprehensively promote and protect the rights and welfare of our children. Madam Speaker, we have additional good news. We have additional good news. Government is revising the National Policy on Disability to enhance the welfare of persons living with disabilities and promote their effective participation in national development programs in the country. Environmental sustainability. Madam Speaker, our country's social economic transformation agenda is anchored on the principles of sustainable development, and we are resolute to develop without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own aspirations. This is important. To this end, we are implementing programs aimed at strengthening climate change, adaptation and mitigation, and promoting sustainable environmental and natural resource management. Madam Speaker, to reverse the forest and land degradation, government is implementing the Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development project across where? Luapula, Muchinga, and northern provinces, to promote the sustainable management of our natural resources while improving the livelihoods and resilience of our communities. The project targets to benefit, Madam Speaker, well over 500,000 people, with at least 50% of the beneficiaries being female-headed households. Very important. By implementing the ecosystem-based adaptation program, Madam Speaker, 11,600 hectares of wetlands and forests, as well as 3,250 hectares of agricultural land will be rehabilitated by 2025 across the damaged ecosystems of where? Lukanga and Bangwelu wetlands. Lukanga and Bangwelu wetlands. As we know, Lukanga and Bangwelu are in Central Province and are also in Luapula Province. Thank you. These restorative, we care for you all the time. These restorative measures, Madam Speaker, will result in 50,700 people benefiting through various economic activities, such as agriculture, fishing, forest-based industries. Madam Speaker, we are promoting afforestation. Hear me out. We are promoting afforestation, deforestation, afforestation, reforestation, and regeneration of indigenous forests by promoting and supporting the use of integrated and community-based sustainable natural resource management systems across the country. These initiatives are helping communities to adapt to climate change resilient agricultural practices, thereby reducing their vulnerability to climate change. Madam Speaker, we remain determined to reverse the trend of deforestation by discouraging the use of charcoal, wood fuel. In what place? By promoting forest-based activities such as beekeeping, mushroom harvesting, free tree crop planting as alternative sources of income. Because sometimes our people have no choice but to sell a bag of charcoal to buy salt. But luckily, they don't have to sell charcoal to send their child to school. That cost is taken care of. And that should also help reduce the deforestation. This is how connected the economy and community is. Gives free education, free the burden from parents, they will sell less bags of charcoal. Instead, they now can do beekeeping, fish farming, yes, collect mabuyu and sell it to someone, and they'll be just. Madam Speaker, we are pleased to note that some of our people are adopting green and renewable energy sources such as biogas, solar and wind. Very, very pleased to notice that. Madam Speaker, to address the challenge around indiscriminate exploitation of our forests, particularly cutting down of trees, government is strengthening regulations and enforcement of the law. Technology will soon allow us, good news, Madam Speaker, technology will soon allow us real time to know who is cutting what tree where. Indeed, satellite-based technology. Very soon. So, if you are hiding there and you are sponsoring deforestation, soon it will become difficult. And that's why we are excited with, Madam Speaker, technology, IT, satellite-based. Don't say you were not warned. Madam Speaker, with the support of the private sector and the international financing institutions, local financial institutions, private sector, international financial institutions, government will strengthen the policy framework on climate change to enhance the country's efforts towards climate adaptation, change adaptation, mitigation, resilience, building for the attainment of a sustainable, inclusive, climate resilient and green economy. Madam Speaker, you'll be very delighted that COP26, which we attended, is already beginning to bring us in the League of Nations to be equals among equals as a country. And we want to look at climate adaptation funds and in a clever way access these to support our own domestic climate change programs. That's how the world works. You don't isolate yourself from the world. You work with the world and you network, you benefit if you know what you're doing. Madam Speaker, government is concerned with the unabated levels of pollution and the indiscriminate disposal of waste in this country, our country. We are strengthening the enforcement of regulations to address this problem while ramping up efforts to ensure that waste is reduced. First, waste is reused, reduced, and recycled to protect the environment. Again, technology will allow us to do things we were not able to do just 3 years ago. Very important. We are in a situation where we urge our local authorities. Local authorities, please, MPs, you sit in you are part of the local administrations. Madam Speaker, do not worry about that. You are already behind. We're ahead of that concern. We're ahead of that concern. We're ahead of that concern. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker. Indeed. We understand the dislocation which was caused in the past. It was unreasonable. It didn't make sense. You don't isolate a key member of a local community and put them aside and hope to have holistic approaches to the problem. So don't worry about that. Madam Speaker, we urge our local authorities to truly localize and be more proactive in the provision of waste management services to our communities. The key word is to localize. Who dumps garbage, Madam Speaker? It's people in the local communities. So who should clean the garbage? It's the people in the local communities. We don't expect central government there to collect the garbage heaps. It's local authorities. in the polling stations, in the wards, in the constituencies, in the districts. That's where it should happen. But we must all work together in making sure that it happens. Madam Speaker, good governance environment. Madam Speaker, we cannot overemphasize the role of good governance in creating a conducive environment for economic transformation. We cannot do it without bringing this aspect of it as a package. We are therefore implementing measures to strengthen the policy and governance environment, the rule of law, the rule of law, the rule of law, human rights and constitutionalism, as well as international cooperation and foreign relations. We are members of the League of Nations. Madam Speaker, to improve the governance environment, government is resolved to implementing decentralization by taking public services and their delivery closer to the local authorities, closer to Kalulushi, the local authorities. Madam Speaker, thank you. Thank you. We're working on that, and we want delivery, again, responsibility to be that of local authority, as well as empowering our communities to take decisions, to make decisions on their local development priorities. Lusaka cannot be dictating as it was before. Lusaka is not Zambia. Kaputa is Zambia. Right? Kashinakaji is Zambia. Kambombo is Zambia. Yes, Chief Kambombo is area. Indeed. So, indeed, and Kwacha is Zambia. Indeed. As well as empowering our communities to decide on their local development priorities, and not just give them the right to decide, but also the financial support to implement their local decisions. That is the methodical approach. That's the systematic approach which this country has been missing for many years. And participation is not by word of mouth. It's by action and financial support. And we expect, anyway, responsibility at that level. The Auditor General will follow these activities up to the local level. Maybe that's the important news that must be attached to what we've just said. To this effect, the new Dawn administration has significantly increased, as you all know, the allocation of the Constituency Development Fund from a mere 1.6 million constituents per year to a hugely increased 25.7 million kwacha per constituents per year. Really. Why should government and local communities not deliver development? Why? There is no reason, Madam Speaker. And we are watching as a government how to ensure compliance on the utilization of these resources. We are working out measures. We invite suggestions from all of the members of this House, all of the members of the Zambia community, because this is not for the new Dawn government, it's for the people of Zambia, all of the people of Zambia. And that is important. And we've expanded the scope of the fund to include components to support the women, to support the youth, small business. Yes. Mlekutika. Madam Speaker, I'm saying, I hope people are hearing. Madam Speaker, we are alive to the challenges that have led to the low uptake of the resources under the fund. We are aware of the challenges that have slowed down the uptake of the Constituency Development Fund, and as well as the restrictions imposed by legislation. Because when the change was made in quantum allocation, the legal and other procedures, including procurement procedures, lagged behind. So we now want these to catch up with the vision. So it's very important that we do that together, not in isolation. And so no need to whinge. Just come to the table and make suggestions. Madam Speaker, community leaders must be involved in the CDF. community leaders. They must be involved. To scale these challenges, to deal with these challenges, we shall streamline operations of the Constituency Development Fund at all levels and review relevant legislation. Review relevant legislation to allow our expanded stakeholder participation and indeed inclusivity. Furthermore, government has embarked on a review of the national decentralization policy of 2013 in order to address the impediments to the implementation of the decentralization reforms. We don't want to discard the good work that may have been done in the past. We want to build on it and ensure alignment of the policy, our new Dawn government policy, with the Constitution, as well as to address emerging issues. Madam Speaker, to enhance the institutional capacity of rural authorities to effectively deliver decentralized public services delivery, government has secured $210 million from the World Bank. Our World Bank, because of the goodwill, because of credibility that this government brings to strengthen financing institutional reform, performance, and accountability in a lot of local authorities in the number 96 rural townships, so we can make them better prepared to manage these resources. The new Dawn administration has and shall continue to respect the autonomy of oversight and governance institutions such as, which ones? The Office of the Auditor General. The Office of the Auditor General. The Office of the Auditor General. The Office of the Public Protector. The Drug Enforcement Commission. And the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Human Rights Commission. Madam Speaker, to provide for better management of public debt contraction, we bring more good news. To manage better public debt contraction that led to extravagance and a debt crisis, yet again, after HIPIC, just 10 years after HIPIC. Unbelievable. This responsible government of yours wants to rein in on this irresponsibility and ensure it does not return ever again. We shouldn't be doing the same things over and over again. It is not good. It is wasteful. Actually, it's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. And sometimes we must have a sense of shame. Just a bit of it, so we can learn lessons to help communities. The provisions, I must say, to provide for better management of public debt contraction, as well as operationalize the provisions of the Constitution. This, your government is undertaking public finance management reforms as part of strengthening the transparency and accountability and not to allow repetition of costly mistakes. This is evidenced, Madam Speaker, by the enactment of the Public Debt Management Act No. 7 of 2022. And thank you to this Parliament for passing that law. And it's now been enacted. No more games around this issue. Madam Speaker, I already called for a bit of shame, and that can help improve for the future. This Amendment Act empowers you, the members of Parliament who are the representatives of the people of Zambia, to provide oversight on debt contraction, so that never again should our country go back into a debt trap. And the voters of Zambia are watching. They are listening. I think they have understood what it means to elect leaderships. They've understood. Madam Speaker, the fight against corruption is a core component of our strategy, not only to enhance transparency and accountability in the administration of public resources, but also, Madam Speaker, is a matter of justice in the way we deliver social economic dividends to our people. We have established the Economic and Financial Crimes Court to speed up, but also to fairly dispose of economic and financial crimes cases. There are teething issues in there. The Minister of Justice is aware. We're looking at them, including courtroom space. We're looking at them because we need to get on with the job. Madam Speaker, to strengthen the policy framework on the fight against corruption, the National Anti-Corruption Policy is undergoing review with the principal aim of strengthening stakeholder engagement in the fight against corruption. We cannot succeed without the stakeholders, the communities being involved in this fight. In order to re-establish the tenets of integrity and total accountability in the public service delivery, the crusade against corruption is gathering momentum. The crusade against corruption is gathering momentum. When others thought that is dying, it's actually gathering momentum. And shall remain decisive and will be cross-cutting with no sacred cows. May we reiterate, Madam Speaker, that the law shall be applied fully, sternly, but fairly against all those who shall be found wanting of the past, of the present, of the future. No, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, the citizens of Zambia deserve leaders who understand the difference between public assets and private assets. Over years, we began to basically have a convolution, a perception, misaligned mindsets that what belongs to the public belongs to individuals. This must come to an end, and we must cooperate. What you see, what we see, how public resources were personalized, cannot be an argument we say the fight against corruption is ethnic driven. There's no ethnicity in here. It is individuals who thought that public money belongs to them. You abuse the trust citizens gave you. And don't complain. Don't appeal to ethnic persuasions. We will not agree to that. We will not agree to that. As a country, Madam Speaker, going forward, as a country, as citizens, let us replace corruption with the art and value of work, more hard and smart work. We shall be okay. We shall still look after our families through hard work, not shortcuts. No. Madam Speaker, our administration continues to address the gaps in the electoral process, with government committed to reviewing relevant electoral laws and regulations in line with the international best practice. Further, yes, that's a meaning. Madam Speaker, further, we have commenced implementation of the continuous voter registration, which was not done ever before, despite the law being put in place years back. So, in line with this Electoral Process Act number 35 of 2016, and to heed to widespread stakeholders' concerns and the need for building consensus on this matter, we invite stakeholders to work together. We invite stakeholders to cooperate for national good, not for sectoral interests. Madam Speaker, sectoral interest, English, Chizungu. Sectoral. Madam Speaker, we are pacing up to the use of digital platforms to enhance the delivery of public services in our country. As we said, by mid-year this year, 147 services provided by government ministries, departments, and statutory bodies had been integrated on the government service bus. Thank you. With commercial banks and mobile network operators incorporated on the government service bus, on the Zambia government bus payment gateway to increase the payment options for public services. As a result, the revenue collection, Madam Speaker, you'll be delighted to know, good news, is that we have been able to enhance revenue collection and leakages reduced. This is only the beginning. I must say here, Madam Speaker, that more work needs to be done in this area. I'm the first one to say so. I ask others to agree. More work and efforts shall be made to seal loopholes in and around the payroll. In and around the payroll. What sits there, Madam Speaker, is unacceptable. Money is being taken by people who don't work for government. A government worker will receive 2-3 salaries. The Auditor General is on it, Madam Speaker. At our behest, the Auditor General is on it. So I repeat, more work and efforts shall be made to seal loopholes in and around the payroll for central government, for local government, and related institutions, parastatus, regulatory bodies. This hole is big. So, no complaints again. Let's work together. We save resources from there. We can meet our target of desks for all kids by 2023, by the end of 2023. That's the connection. Madam Speaker, the empowerment of our people with land ownership, particularly the women, the youth, remains high on our agenda. In 2021, we allocated, your government allocated 28.4% of all available land to women. And government is going ahead to implement the policy of allocating 50% of available land to our women. Absolutely. We are deeply concerned, however, with the unscrupulous manner in which some of our local authorities, and no need to skate around, the Ministry of Lands itself. The Ministry of Lands itself are allocating land. Well, Madam Speaker, a lot of these issues are legacy issues, inherited issues. They should have been resolved in the last 10 years. They were not. Now we are going to resolve them. We are going to resolve them. We would like the local authorities and the central arm of government, Minister of Lands, to take out corruption, double allocation of plots, triple allocation of plots, causing people to fight, and in some cases, to injure each other. We can prevent this. And again, automation will help us better. IT will help us better. And I want to say, Madam Speaker, it is regrettable and extremely unfortunate that some of our citizens have had to suffer demolitions of their properties for want of procedure, and in some instances, a glaring disregard of the law. we want to work within the rule of law. I think we lost this aspect of societal values. And there's no blame game here. It's evident what was going on. Evident. And Madam Speaker, again, I repeat, let us search our consciences. Shame, sense of shame. If you did something wrong, acknowledge and repent. And don't make noise. Madam Speaker, those participating in illegal allocation and acquisition of land will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Madam Speaker, government shall undertake land reforms to operationalize the national land policy and carry out a review of the various statutes relating to land management to ensure enhanced equitable access to land for increased productivity among our citizenry. We shall also decentralize land registration to provincial centers and digitize. Minister, through the Speaker of Technology, Cabinet Office, Lands, Local Authorities, alubelegela moho. Meaning, Madam Speaker, alubelegela moho. Means, I'm explaining, alubelegela moho means let's work together. That's what I'm saying. Let us work together. Madam Speaker, our administration strongly believes in the respect for human rights, civil liberties and freedoms as given and guaranteed by all in the Constitution. We shall continue to respect and promote the people's human rights within the confines of the law. Madam Speaker, over the years, the Public Order Act, Chapter 113 of the laws of Zambia has been a subject of contentious public debate and court action, with some sections of society calling for a total removal. Some sections of society conveniently abuse this law. For years, not for months, for years, Madam Speaker, as a demonstration of our commitment and desire for citizens to exercise and enjoy their civil liberties and freedoms, including the right to freely assemble and associate as provided for under the Bill of Rights in our Constitution, Cabinet has approved, in principle, to repeal and replace the Public Order Act. This process is transparent, Madam Speaker. It's comprehensive. It involves all stakeholders for better consensus building. All stakeholders, particularly political parties, members of parliament, independent, those from the opposition, those from the ruling party, alubekela moho, work together. Amubelegela antomwe, work together. Work together. Yeah. So, work together. Work together. If you are a Zambian, you should know what those languages are. And this is the point I made earlier, Madam Speaker, that Zambians must consider themselves as true citizens and consider themselves as equal to one another, irrespective of how they twist their tongue in the name of a language. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, to ensure that the country has harmonized penal provisions, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, to ensure that the country has harmonized penal provisions, government has commenced the process to repeal and replace the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia, and the Criminal Procedure Code, Chapter 88 of the laws of Zambia. The review also seeks to amend provisions relating to, Madam Speaker, the death penalty. The death penalty. And the criminal defamation of the president. among others. In the interim, the Minister of Justice, Madam Speaker, has since concluded drafting of the legislation to repeal the provisions relating to the imposition of the death penalty and the law relating to criminal defamation of the President. The said legislation, Madam Speaker, is scheduled to be tabled before this House during the coming session, subject to approval by Cabinet. Madam Speaker, the good news is that going forward, there shall be no more citizens put on death penalty. This is what others failed to achieve. This new dawn promised and is delivering. Madam Speaker, suffice to indicate that these pieces of legislation, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, suffice to indicate that these pieces of legislation have archaic provisions that do not conform to the International Bill of Rights, which Zambia is a signatory, while locally, at a local level, these laws have penalties which in some cases are inconsistent with other pieces of legislation for similar offenses. I don't know how judges sometimes make the rulings, because you find inconsistencies in the legislation. So we need to harmonize this. Yes. Effectiveness in the representation of government in civil proceedings, as well as enhance, I shall repeat, to improve efficiency and effectiveness in the representation of government in civil proceedings, as well as to enhance clearance of contracts and agreements to which government is party to, and to depart from the ills of the past. The Attorney General's chambers will be decentralized to all provinces. Enhance access to legal services, especially amongst the poor. I replace this word, especially among the less privileged and disadvantaged. The Legal Aid Board has established offices in 5 additional districts, namely Mwinilunga, that's the correct pronunciation, Mwinilunga, Nakonde, Mbala, Mwazavuka, and Petauke. Mazavuka. Madam Speaker, Zambia shall continue to assume the role of peacemaker. Madam Speaker, Zambia shall continue to assume the role of peacemaker. Whatever and wherever soever this requirement becomes necessary, because we understand and we know that instability anywhere, Madam Speaker, is instability everywhere. Will not allow. Yes, Madam Speaker, in this regard, we are committed to promoting the return of the peace that is so essential in the Cabo Delgado region of northern Mozambique, as well as in several other parts of the region, our continent, and the global community threatened by conflict. Instability anywhere is instability everywhere. So we should be concerned. Madam Speaker, we are honored, really truly honored, and on behalf of the people of Zambia, to having been elected as incoming chairperson of the organ of politics Defense and Security Cooperation of the SADC region. At the last sitting of the SADC meeting in Congo, which, Madam Speaker, happened to be my first meeting at this platform. And the SADC members chose to elect us to chair the critical organ of this organization. And we pledge to discharge this responsibility to the expectation of member states and all our populations in our country. Madam Speaker, as we move to conclude, Madam Speaker, as we move to conclude, just over a year ago, the people of Zambia overwhelmingly gave us the mandate to preside over the affairs of this nation. Just over a year ago. And we promised, Madam Speaker, we promised to fix the economy, and we are on course. We are managing the debt situation. We are managing the resilience of the local currency, the resurgence of the local currency. We are containing inflation, Madam Speaker, as well as restoring macro stability, essential for growth. We promise free education for our children, Madam Speaker, and we have delivered. Now education is no longer a preserve of those with money, but it is available for all our people. And we are determined to keep it this way. Nothing will stand in our way. We promise to increase Constituent Development Fund, and we have increased it exponentially. We have increased it exponentially. That is the truth. Thereby putting our citizens back at the heart and center of community development. The teething problems are being addressed. We promise to fight corruption, and we are fighting corruption. You will see what happens, including Kamugodi and other public places. Law and order has been restored, and our people are now free to mingle. Again, sometimes, if this country, a duty to embrace values that promote peace and unity, saluting the good in others that they have, irrespective of their culture, their traditions, the language they speak, as someone got concerned if other languages are mentioned. Other languages are mentioned, no concern. Just one time you mention another language, there's concern. That is an inferiority complex, and it should come to an end. Madam Speaker, we want to salute the good in others, irrespective of their culture, their traditions, the language they speak, because that's God's gift and status in society. A duty to remain united under one Zambia, one nation, one people motto. We are doing it, Madam Speaker. This is our cherished commitment. This is our noble mission, Madam Speaker. This is our narrative, rising above challenges in pursuit of a better Zambia for all, a free, fair, and productive nation. Madam Speaker, under our leadership, only hard work remains the source of wealth and livelihood in all corners of our country. And together, 19 million people plus, we must share this value. No one should say, I don't agree, because everybody should agree and should be part of it. Madam Speaker, no shortcuts, no stealing, small or large, in darkness or during the day. No corruption, no tantameni, no kasamfing. Madam Speaker, it is now my honor and privilege to declare the second session of the 13th National Assembly officially open. May God bless all of us. May God continue to bless our efforts so we can enjoy the fruit of our labor. May God bless our beloved country, the Republic of Zambia. Madam Speaker, I thank you for your kind attention.
Wait. You are blocking me. Yes. Hey, very nice. The pages are doing well. You can develop it. Thank you very much. What happened next? I'll sit.
The Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, addressing Parliament during the ceremonial opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly. And the President has highlighted various aspects of the economy, various sectors that will reshape Zambia's economic fortunes. He did talk about issues to do with science and technology, enterprise development, tourism, and also looking at issues of corruption, wastage of funds. He also did speak about the 8th National Development and how it is for all Zambians and that the parliamentarians must play a leading role in ensuring that it is applied in the different areas in which they represent. Mr. Lijimo, it has been quite a lot being unpacked and unwrapped here as the President addressed the parliamentarians and the nation at large.
Yeah, Madam Chileshe, it's gratifying to notice that many of the issues that we actually alluded to and discussed and analyzed are the issues that the President has really been able to ably touch. It was like we peeped through his speech and realized that that's exactly what the President came to really talk about. But this then resonates very well, Madam Chileshe, with the fact that I think then the President has set a very, very strong tone. He has set a conducive environment within which he has made a lot of policy pronouncements. The Public Order Act, for example, debt restructuring, for example, issues of the tourism and how we must be able to revitalize that particular sector, diversification of the agriculture sector, you know, the 8th National Development Plan, and ensuring that we are on course and aligning ourselves to the issues we've espoused for ourselves. And so this is a good summary, and I think the President has set the tone. It's up to the ministers, up to the members of Parliament and all key stakeholders. I remember him actually spelling the word stakeholders for them, key stakeholders, to take advantage of this. And so we hope that this will be able to be the basis for which we develop our country.
In his speech, he did speak about the education sector, and I know as we were listening, you were pointing out how important the teacher-pupil ratio is. But one thing he said is that education is no longer just a preserve of those who can afford it, but must cut across as a right for every child in every community. Is this the anchor at which the Zambia will look at development in the next 10 years, for instance?
You see, education is an investment that does not show fruits now. It doesn't show the fruits today. But consistency in investing into this sector can far outweigh the benefits of it come 10 years from now, come 15 years from now. because many of those that are in grade 1 today receiving this free education, for example, will have to be in tertiary education, and some of them will have already gone into skills development careers that would actually contribute immensely to the development of this country. So we cannot overemphasize the need for this free education and the benefits it can bring. It may look like we are putting in a bottomless pit today, but if we are consistent at it and ensuring that we have a citizenry that receives particularly quality education and a citizenry that is very educated, in such a way that if you counted 10 people, you are rest assured you have 8 people that are educated, then you are rest assured, Madam Chileshe, that you have people having great ideas to develop whatever environment and circumstances that they live in, and eventually develop the whole country as a whole.
The President has set the tone. What should be the point of reflection for the parliamentarians, especially that they are so important? But for now, let's go back into the House.
That at its rising today, the House do adjourn until Tuesday, 13th September 2022.
The question is that at its rising today, the House do adjourn until Tuesday, 13th September 2022. Any debate? Her Honor, the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, may I start by expressing on behalf of the House, and indeed on my own behalf, sincere thanks to the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for the inspiring and well thought out speech that he has just delivered. Madam Speaker, I am sure all honorable members will join me in congratulating the President for delivering an inspiring address. The President has raised a number of important issues which need careful
Mr. President. Thank you very much.